we're gonna find out what the Swedish player is gonna do here. This is a tough group. He might be able to get out of it, but first of all, he has to take down Leenock. And start talking about the game, we have to the top right on Daybreak now in our first map of this best of 3. Our FXO Zerg player. It is the Lenoctopus, the guy with the tentacles. He's the guy with the amazing micro, the Zerg Panda Bear. And to the bottom left, we have his opponent. This is, of course, the sweet Quantic Sase. And, well, the one thing that we can say about him is that he is a maniac on the ladder, is laddering it up like a madman game after game, and has probably the best dress code out of all foreign players, at least if you believe the girls.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't know? I'm sorry, Wolf, it's not you.
Well, I don't know. I'm not really into the hat.
The guy wears a hat, okay? You get a style bonus already when you wear the hat. I have 2 hats at home. I look amazing with a hat. Covers my not hair, okay?
I'm not the hat guy.
Yeah.
I'm anti-hat, actually.
Anti-hat?
Yeah.
First time I actually wore a hat, I get hit on by so many girls when we went to a club, and I wore it as a joke, okay? I stole it from a friend and I wore it as a joke, and then we went to a club, and I got hit on by so many girls. I was like, okay, I have to buy a hat, and the next day I bought a hat.
That is what
and believe me, it paid off.
That's what the anti-hat's called, the hat strat. And the hat strat is a gimmick, man.
I did not know that there was a hat strat.
That's the hat strat, man.
After I went to that club with the hats, I bought one and it paid off. Hey, what can I say? I look amazing in hats.
Well, that's...
I have to bring my hat over the next time I'm in Germany. I'll do that in January.
Okay. I want to see the hat strat in action.
Yeah?
This drone is having a tough day. He just wants to make a hatchery, but Sase says no.
They're messing it up a tiny little bit. But yeah, at least delaying it for as long as possible. And of course, Leenock didn't skimp on the pool, so it's not gonna like break his heart or anything. It's just the normal build that you have, and the worst case scenario is you have to wait for your Zerglings. Talking about those, we have 4. That decides to go for the normal number.
Yeah.
And don't be fooled, guys. The number of Zerglings in the early game is actually a pretty huge deal. The one example that always comes to mind for me is when we had games on Crossfire back in the days when Naniwa was fighting against Lucky. He relied on his opponent building the normal 4 Zerglings and went out with a Zealot on the map to get a little bit of forward scouting, but Lucky changed things up and actually built 6 Zerglings, and suddenly he was able to take down the Zealot, because if there are only 4, then with good micro you can heal all 4 Zerglings and then you head back. But Naniwa lost the forward Zergling, and that was the unit that he needed to get the early scouting information of what was going on. He didn't have any information. Lucky played aggressive, and then Naniwa didn't have the unit to block his gap and lost the game immediately. It looked a little bit silly, and it was all because Lucky decided to get 2 more links. So this can really decide a game, as silly as it may sound.
No, it's true. It doesn't sound silly.
Bottom left, by the way, we have the wall now ready for Sase, and Sase starts here with a cybernetics core.
Second gas at the natural.
I haven't seen Sase play in quite a while, to be honest with you, and I don't know what his preferred transition here is. We've seen a lot of Protoss player these days going into Stargate instead of a robotics. In fact, judging by, for example, the last Code A round and also the Blizzard Cup, we didn't see too many Immortal push anymore.
It starts to be a little bit predictable, the Immortal push, I feel, so... People are getting away from it a little bit. That's why I love StarCraft 2, is strategy is always changing and evolving. Even in StarCraft 1 when I was playing when I was a kid, man, I remember just like certain strategies were popular, and even when I was bad, I was like 10 years old playing StarCraft 1, like, strategies are changing, people go meatless a lot, people stop going meatless a lot. I was so bad. But you know, there was definitely, even on US East before I was playing on Icy Cup, there was strategies evolving. That's one of the things I really loved about the game.
Well, right now we have the 3rd base up for Leenock, so that's kind of what you would expect at this point. And he's not really... he's now starting to spread his creep at the 3rd base. Really important. We've seen him do that yesterday as well. If you are faced with an Immortal push, that's what you want. Sase, on the other hand, is not going in any kinds of tech. He's going for 3 gates now, and it looks like he's not even done and wants to add additional ones. Now decides to pull the probe back. So we have 4 gate with +1, a little bit of an old school style here. And a style that can take a player unaware.
Yeah,
but
but he
usually
needs the
does
forward pylon.
not that much damage. Yeah, that's true. He needs the forward pylon and the probe's already on its way.
A little bit. Actually, it's gonna line up okay. He's a little bit late with that, but the thing is, the Overlord sees it, so he's gonna be able to prepare for this. He's already got the Roach Warren.
The
He
Roach
needs
Warren.
maybe one Spine Crawler. He's gonna
Yeah.
skip it though, I think.
He gets Zerglings now, but of course the problem with his Lings is that he's up against +1 Zealots, and those Zealots just two-hit a Ling easily, and therefore Lings alone won't do the trick. So Leenock is trying to delay things a bit before, so that he can finish the Roach run, that he can go into the Roaches. We have the Lair tech for him now as well, and here comes Sase at the third base, warping in.
Yep, they're ready. He needs to send those Zealots over ASAP. 3 Roaches on the way, but a little bit late. Nice micro by Sase, pulling back the weakened Zealot.
At the same time, Leenock just stalling a little bit, trying to bait those Zealots in and trying to buy himself some time, using the drones now to defend as well. The Stalker is his primary target here with the Zerglings. The Queen is already dead. Here come the first few Roaches, and now he can start kiting.
Yeah, he can start kiting. Nice control using the drones and then pulling them away. Now actually really committing with the drones because he knows the Stalkers are coming out. And now Stalkers against Roaches without speed and the Roach numbers being so low. Sase can do a lot of damage here, and so far he is the drone count severely reduced so far. And with the next round of Stalkers, if he wants it, he could do a lot more damage.
And let's not forget that he has a third base coming up now, or actually the third base is already done. We have Sase with the first Immortals. His tech is looking really good going into the second Forge and Twilight Council. I mean, this did not do too much damage, but it gave him the time that he needed to get all of these structures. The question is, can he defend it?
Yeah, that's the really important question. He does not want to warp in any more Zealots. Actually, he decides to go home. He's going to lose a few Stalkers here, though, to the Speedlings. That's why he didn't stick around, because he knew that Speed was going to finish. And, you know, he thought maybe I could warp in some Zealots, but I'm actually just going to keep the Stalkers alive. Well, that's what he wanted to do, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, and Leenock, of course, knows about the third base, so the big problem now is that he is completely aware that he can go on the offensive, that he can be a bit aggressive here. And there comes the one Immortal that he has surrounded. The force field's not good enough. Sase is going to lose everything here.
Yeah, that was just... I don't want to say that was bad luck, but, I mean, Leenock, he caught that Immortal. Sase wanted to send it down. He didn't expect the Lings to catch the Immortal so quickly like that.
The supply numbers alone already tell the tale. With 72 against 108, even on 3 bases, that's devastating. And he just tries to balance between the natural and the third base. He tries to find an opening, Leenock that is. He knows about those cannons, but let's be honest, there are 3. It's a little bit too much. Maybe he can break through, but there's an opening where he can actually attack the Nexus, and this will force Sase out.
Yeah. Sase cannot hold the Nexus anymore. I mean,
he has to do something. He has to attack. He can't just sit there.
Yeah, he can't. I mean, he may be able to hold the Nexus, but he can't just let it take damage. He can't wait any longer. Force fields go down, but now Leenock just avoids that army. This is a tiny group of units for Leenock compared to the full scale of his force.
Even forcing a couple of additional force fields to being built, and those sentries run out of energy fast, and that's exactly the timing that Leenock used to snipe them.
Yep. Good control on the Immortal though by Sase, keeping it alive, but Leenock just has more and more units coming. He's got Overlord drops, and that may be the nail in the coffin, because he can just drop into the main base while he sends units to the third base. The cannons are ready. He can't really attack that third Nexus anymore. He needs to attack at the front where he's got that army advantage.
Oh wow, Sase is so on the ropes now. The guy is down for the count. He's gonna lose his forge as well if Leenock tries to take it, and he does. No more upgrades for Sase, and at the same time there's a huge gap now, of course, in the wall, and Leenock just does not stop. The guy goes for the +1 attack upgrade, goes for drops as well. He snipes the core. No more sentries, no more stalkers.
No more nonsense, man. Leenock is coming in here, gonna pick off some of these Zealots and sentries as well. Good position so far, forcing some force fields out, but he doesn't have to actually fight against them. He can just wait for more reinforcements and wait for the force fields to fade. Looks like he's not gonna wait though.
Leenock has 100 additional supply over his opponent, and now here come the units for Sase, but this is gonna be a Zerg sandwich from both angles. Leenock is moving in, and that is gonna seal Sase's fate. The Zerg player is dominating our Swedish Protoss here. The foreigner struggling a lot and losing his entire army. GG and game over in game number 1.